Is it possible that NNPC is actually owing or actually owes their refinery $6 billion US? Is it possible? Remember that initially they did not say that, they denied, but eventually they came around, which is typical. First of all, they were told first subsidy is back, they denied, and eventually the Minister of the Minister of Finance came to say, yes, we're actually going to pay about 6 trillion naira for first subsidy in 2024. Which is obviously what the IMF and the World Bank want. So they gave them what they wanted, right? And then eventually, because they wanted to increase the price of petrol from 617 to 850 and then to 950 and then to 1,100, because they wanted to do that, they came and they said, oh, okay, yes, we are actually owing $6 billion. And that's why there is scarcity, the same artificial scarcity they created in order to raise the price so that Nigerians will not argue too much. They will just say, instead of us to be queuing and struggling or suffering to get fuel, let's just pay more because we're actually paying more in the black market. So they created that artificial scarcity. And because of that, they hid behind it and hid behind that artificial scarcity and behind the fact that Dangote is going to do a launch, and they increased the pump price of petrol. And here we are. Now we are told that they are owing $6 billion. Now, question. How is it that they owe $6 billion worth of crude oil? How? How is that possible? Ask yourself this question. How much fuel or how much crude oil does Nigeria extract on a daily basis? Go to the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NNPC. They are the agency created by the Petroleum Industry Act of Nigeria that created the NNPC Limited and created the Nigerian Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. So you have NNPC, you have the authority, you have the commission. The commission takes care of upstream, which is extraction of crude oil. They have a report. The report is on their website. NNPC in 2023 extracted, in partnership with their what is it called now? Whether it is production sharing contracts or whether it is joint venture, they extracted over 500 million barrels of crude oil in 2024 on the OPEC platform. I need to stress this because on a daily basis, the crude oil extracted that is recorded, right, is for OPEC platform. Now, there are crude oil extracted that are sold off OPEC platform. Those are not mentioned, right? They are not, some of them are not even recorded to the Upstream Regulatory Commission. But from data that was gotten based on meeting OPEC quota of 1.5 million barrels per day for 2024, right? 500 million plus barrels of crude oil in 2024. Just do a rough math and multiply that by 80 and multiply, and you get almost $50-60 billion of revenue. We're not talking about natural gas. Natural gas that we sold in 2023, NNPC sold about $9 billion worth of natural gas exported. So that should be a revenue of about $60 billion that come in. How do you say a company that makes a revenue of about $60 billion and spends 20 billion of that to import refined petrol products, the refined petrol product that they will still sell to Nigerians? They make money of it. $20 billion is about 100 million liters per day. Multiply that by, if it is 500 naira per liter, do you know how much that is? So how can you say that kind of company will owe $6 billion? How much is $6 billion? NNPC is lying to Nigerians. And you know, I'm not so angry about the NNPC lie. What I'm angry about is that the companies, the auditing firms that audited that account, failed to point that out. In fact, the NNPC report that stipulates the amount of crude oil that is extracted out of the ground every year. That report actually now also goes silent. They don't mention it. And there's even a big one. The Nigerian Navy, their figure is way higher than that of NNPC, that of Nigerian Port Authorities, and that of NNPC. And all of these are not reflected in NNPC's audited account. Can you imagine that? And then it just come up, they just feel like Nigerians are so dumb, they can just come and tell us anything and we don't have a choice but to believe. They just come and tell us, oh, we made $16 billion in the whole of 2023. What happened to $60 billion? $50 billion from crude oil sales, $10 billion from, what is it called? Natural gas sales. Not to mention that they also exported refined petrol products. Can you imagine that? NNPC exported refined petrol products, $1 billion worth of it. That's revenue. And they engage in shipping. NNPC has a shipping company. NNPC has all manners of companies. So all of those companies will not bring in revenue? Come on. Nigerians, ask questions. We cannot continue like this.